Today I have a really special guest for you. I am interviewing the incredible Brenda Cameron. Brenda is a transformational expert, speaker, and absolute superstar. And she's one of the speakers at our Stand Up Speakers Academy. And Brenda has such a powerful story. She's been on the biggest transformation, and now she's going around teaching everybody that you can transform your life, that wherever you are, don't give up. Keep going. You just need the right tools, and this is what Brenda spent her whole life doing, is figuring out what these tools are. So I just wanted her to share some of her story and some of her knowledge with you, because I know this can change your life. So thank you so much for coming to talk to me today, Brenda.
Thank you, Luke, really, for inviting me to come on and interview you, and for you to interview me.
Now, one of the things that caught my attention with you, Brenda, is you seem to have such a zest for life, and recently you got given a gift for your 70th birthday present. What were you doing? Because I've seen the pictures on Facebook.
For my 70th birthday present, I was given a wing walk on a vintage aircraft in Headcorn, where I flew through the air, standing up, strapped to the wings. It was amazing, absolutely amazing.
That sounds terrifying.
It was probably the scariest thing I've ever done. But I was telling myself, as the pilot had said, if you like it, put your thumbs up. If you don't, if you want to come down, put your thumbs down. And he was doing kind of somersaults, and he went on the side like this, and I was thinking to myself, oh, and then I thought to myself, do I want to go out of this world kicking and screaming, or do I want to be a wimp? So I put my thumbs up.
Oh, nice. You're very brave. Yeah. I think you're braver than me.
I'm not sure I'll do it again.
Now, this is even more incredible, because I know there was a time in your life when you talk very openly about this, which is great, where you were completely bedbound, and you had ME, I believe.
I did.
What was that part of your life like? How did you get to that stage?
Well, I was in what I considered to be a successful career. I was a field director for an international market research agency, and I was working about 80 hours a week, travelling hundreds of miles each week, living away from home, and to all intents and purposes, my life was busy, exciting, and at the time I thought quite successful. That was in 1999. However, by the year 2000, I woke up one morning to go to work at 3:30 on a Monday morning, which was my normal time to leave, and I just couldn't get out of bed. I had been getting tireder and tireder, but as you do, you just get on with it. And this day I just couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't even lift the phone to ring my company. I couldn't lift a cup, and this went on for 3 months, by which time I was unable to watch the television, read a book, even listen to the radio. I was light and sound phobic, which mean I couldn't have daylight shine on me, because it literally hurt, and transpired my immune system and nervous system had completely collapsed, and it was really like somebody had taken off the outer layer of my skin, and the medical profession diagnosed me with a chronic illness known as ME, and they said there's no cure.
And that's something that they say to a lot of people, and I have interviewed other people who've been diagnosed with the same thing. No cure, nothing we can do. And obviously here you are now, wing walking on planes. So what changed? What happened? What was the switch?
Well, I tried every conceivable alternative and conventional remedy. My friends and family had trawled the internet. I even saw a spiritualist healer, had my house feng shuied, and then somebody sent me a newspaper clipping about Esther Ranson's daughter Emily. She'd been in a wheelchair for 15 years with ME, and she'd been on a training course that taught her how she could influence her own health by how the mind and body interacted. Literally had her brain retrained. So I had no idea I would ever get on the course. I couldn't even get out of bed, and it took 6 months to get me there on the back seat of my son's car, not speaking, all the way up to London. And I walked into the clinic in Crouch End to have my brain retrained at 9 a.m. on the 31st of July 2007. And at 1 o'clock, I literally skipped out. It was like I'd never seen the sun shine. Honestly, it sounds, unbelievable. I'd never seen the sun shine so brightly, and my son and I are really black and white people. We just couldn't believe it. We chatted. I sat in the front seat and we chatted for an hour all the way home.
And I know this is one of your big headlines that you talk about, is recovering from chronic illness, 8 years bedbound in 4 hours. And for most people, that's totally unbelievable. But for you, this is something you now help other people to do, right? You show that no matter where you are in life, you can completely transform yourself by rewiring your brain and changing your habits.
Yeah. And it's not, I don't want people to think it was easy. It was simple, but not easy. I had to practice, I had to work, had to be really dedicated and consistently practice the tools and the techniques I've been given. There was no way I was going back. No, I would practice this stuff in the supermarket with my grandchildren. I got to go around supermarkets, I got to ski, I got to drive all around Europe.
I know you went traveling to top of a huge temple as well, right?
Yeah. I went, this was just last year. I hiked 10,000 feet to the Tiger's Nest Monastery in Bhutan, and it's literally like that. And there's no barriers, it was really, and then hiked 10,000 feet down again, yeah.
That is absolutely incredible. Now, one of the things you talk about, Brenda, which I think is so important for everyone watching to understand, is that these things, they don't just sneak up on you, right? There was a definite trail of causality, like, and I know you call it finding the root cause. Tell me about that. What was the root cause of all of this? Where did it come from? How did this happen?
After I recovered from ME, I'd actually recovered and sorted out the symptoms. I hadn't recognised that at the time. So the symptoms of the tiredness and the fatigue and not being able to have sunlight shine on you, I resolved all of that. However, I went on to have 2 more chronic illnesses. So of course I had to investigate further. I went all around the world looking for people who could help me discover what was the cause of all this, because it's a bit like a bad relationship, If you have one bad relationship and then you have 2 more, you start to think, well, hang on a minute, what am I doing to contribute to this? So I was very, very aware that I was doing something to contribute to this. And I always said the reason I got ME was because I couldn't say no. And that is what I believed, because at work, in my job, I was always the one who stayed late. I was always the one who stayed extra hours. And even in my relationships, I didn't have any boundaries, couldn't say no. And recently, I've recovered from yet another chronic illness and recognised that the root cause of all that's happened to me in my entire 70 years was repressed emotions from my childhood. And that was because, and I felt that I dealt with these, I really did, because I've worked with people like Tony Robbins and Bruce Lipton and Phil Parker, many people. Felt it was resolved, but these things were so well hidden from me And when we looked at it closely, it transpired that it'd come from, as a child, my dad was a Japanese prisoner of war, and he'd been shot in Burma, and when he came back, he had never had any help with that. And we would see him sitting in the chair mumbling like this to himself, and his nerves, the slightest sound from us children, he would just go into a terrible rage. So of course, as a child, well, not just me, my siblings as well, we weren't allowed to make a sound or a noise. There certainly wasn't any laughing or any playing or anything like that. So I'd kind of learned to become invisible, and the frustration of, as a child, you're really not aware of what's right and wrong, and kind of being invisible and not having a life, I'd actually repressed all of that. And I designed this way of being, so that was my behaviour that kept me safe. So I took that behaviour, and even at the age of 50, I was a grown woman in a really successful job, and I was still demonstrating those behaviours of not being able to say no and making myself invisible and being quiet and never speaking up.
So what would you want to say to anyone who's watching who maybe is feeling like they are trapped, they're crippling themselves with overthinking, they've got some illness, they've got something that they want to transform? What would your message be for everyone, Brenda?
Don't give up, because there is an answer. And if you're feeling, when you feel, well, what's wrong with me? You know, why can't I sort this out? There's a root cause. There is a reason for it. You're not just doing this stuff to be a victim or to be difficult. There is a root cause. And when you find the right expert at the right time, you will discover the root cause, and you can transform your life just as I have. And now my life is amazing. I'm full of energy, vitality. I like to say that I've blazed a trail through life, and certainly will not be leaving any dreams undreamt by the time I leave this world, which is going to be a long, long time away.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah.
Incredible. Brenda runs these amazing workshops as well, and if you are looking to get some guidance, definitely get in touch with her. What's the best way for people to reach you, Brenda? How can they find out more? Because I know this is just a start, the tip of the iceberg of your story. So how can people find out more?
My email is brenda@brendacameron.co.uk. You can contact me on Brenda Cameron Life Coach, send me a message, or you can follow me on Instagram, Brenda Cameron 7582. And I look forward to hearing from you.
Incredible. I like how succinct that was. You must have been practicing.
I have. I say it so many times because, do you know what? I recognise that there are so many people out there who banging their head against a brick wall, trying to find the answers, just like I did. So I want to make myself available for those people who seem to have tried everything and think there's nothing else. Well, you know what? There is.
And I can really recommend Brenda as well if you're looking for a great speaker, someone who can deliver real value and make you cry at the same time. Get in touch with Brenda. I know she's speaking all over the place at the moment, and it's just the start, right? What is next in the Brenda Cameron story? What are we aiming for?
Well, in the new year, there is my 3-day course, one-to-one coaching, and I'm already booked up quite heavily to speak in 2020, because my talks aren't just talks, they are like workshops. So whenever you come along to one of my workshops, or my talks, should I say, when you come along to one of the talks, you would take away techniques that could significantly change how your life unfolds from the day you come along to the talk.
Amazing. Brenda, thank you so much for changing your life and now stepping up and sharing with other people. I think it's massively inspiring. I know I tell you that all the time.
You do.
But it really is so amazing to see you shining, because I think it just gives so many other people permission to shine too. And so many people in this world have given up.
Mm.
And remember Brenda's message: don't give up. You can transform.
And I really want to take the opportunity, Luke, to thank you for all the help you've given me in making this interview possible, and all the help you've given me with the Stand Up Speakers Academy. It's an amazing academy, and if anybody, I can't recommend it enough for anybody who'd like to join. Thank you very much.
Thank you.